back to the Sling TSI build, and I'm pretty much done. I've had a few hiccups, and it's been a while since I posted a video. So I was going to kind of run down what I've been working on for the last month or so. I had an issue with the fuel manifold. I don't know what happened, but I couldn't get it to stop leaking. So Henry at Midwest Sky Sports very nicely shipped me a new one, and it worked perfectly. However, it was a newer model, and I'll superimpose some pictures throughout this and some video of everything I've been doing. But the fuel manifold, they redesigned it at some point. The one I have is over 2 years old, and they've redesigned it, and they flipped the fuel filter is on top now, or I can't remember. It's reversed from the one I had. So I had to rework one of my fuel hoses and kind of rearrange how I had it mounted. So that took a little bit of time. And then there was some shipping and some U.S. mail problems in the interim. So just one of those weird things. They shut down a post office near me, a distribution center, and mail just sat for 2 weeks, which was really frustrating. So anyway, I started the engine. I did taxi test. I worked on conditioning the brakes, although I think I need to do it one more time. And I encountered some issues, so let's kind of run through that. Engine start went fine. The oil pressure went up just like it should. The temperatures rose quicker than they should, and that was due to just me not being able to purge enough of the air and get enough antifreeze coolant into the lines. I don't think there was a good process on how to do that. So anyway, I didn't run the engine for very long, and then I shut it down, let it cool down, and then I added more coolant. And I've done that actually 2 more times with the heater turned on to hot so that it'll move the coolant through that mechanism. And then that allowed a little more room to add a little more coolant. And now I think I'm completely full. Everything's looking good. The same thing with the oil. After the first run up, I added a little bit more oil. I think just continued to get a few more air bubbles out and then just make sure everything was going through everything fine. So I added a little bit more oil after the first run up, which I think is probably normal. I had oil, but just not, it wasn't up towards the middle to top of the measuring stick like I wanted. So just some of those little things that you do with the run up. So the brakes, I did a video on the brakes, and I felt pretty good when just playing with the brakes in the hangar and kind of rolling it out. The brakes seemed to be working fine. But when I got up to about 4,000 RPMs, it would drag the brake. So I figured I had some air bubbles in the brake master cylinder, which is a common known issue with this particular design. So what I did is I lifted the nose up, and I bled the brakes. And so I got... So then I did another run up, and I got to a little over like 5,100 RPMs, and the brakes started dragging. So at this point, I mean, that's not quite full throttle, but it's pretty good. So at this point, I don't know if I still need to bleed the brakes or if I need to do a little more conditioning of the pads. There's a Matco process where basically they say you get your plane up to between 30 and 40 miles an hour, and then you pull on the brakes hard, not enough to stop the plane, but to get it down to about 5 miles an hour. And then you let it speed up again, and then you hit the brakes hard again. I did that 3 times, and it's possible that that wasn't enough and I need to do it more, or it's possible I may still have another air bubble in my master cylinder that's keeping me from getting full brake pressure. Now I have the dual puck Matco brakes, so I should have plenty of braking power to lock this thing down. So that's a little something I've got to chase. And then when I was doing the conditioning of the brake pads, I had some pretty bad brake fade as I was about to pull it into my hanger, to the point that I actually stopped the plane, shut off the engine, and I just wheeled it myself with my my little tow bar, just so I'd have better controllability to pull it in the hanger. So I don't know if I actually overheated them or what that was from. So that was a little issue I had as well. To go back, I posted some of this on Facebook, and I know some of you probably look at that and some of you don't. I did a fuel flow test, which my DAR wanted me to do, and I think it's just good common sense. So I'm getting above, not a lot above, but I'm getting a little above max flow rates out of my pumps. So I'm getting in the low 50 gallon per hour flow rates, and the Rotax actually says the max is 49.5. So I can't find anywhere where I would want to be worried about that. But the other issue I'm having is that my fuel pressures are a little high. And so the fuel pressures are supposed to stay like 45 PSI, and I'm getting up to 48 PSI. So it's setting off the alarms. Now I can set that higher. Rotax says the max is 51 PSI for 3 seconds. So I'm below that at this point with left or right tanks. So I've got a little more troubleshooting I'm going to do just to make sure all of my return lines are good. Everything in front of the firewall looks good. I've got to pull an inspection panel and make sure the return line going from the firewall to the fuel selector is good. What I can see is fine. It's firm. There's no twists. There's no kinks, but there's a section that's towards the right at the firewall on the inside. I just need to look at that. And then of course there's a return line in the wing, but I got to pull the fairing off and everything. So I haven't done that yet. But the pressures aren't excessive, but it is something that I've got to run down. The other thing that I've had a problem with, and it's the major issue, is the alternator, the generators, I should say, on this plane. The generators didn't seem like they were putting out enough voltage at first when I first did my run-up. And of course, my run-up and taxi tests have been a maximum of, 20 minutes maybe. I had, it wasn't putting out enough voltage and amperage, I guess. I was negative. It's kind of hard to tell because at low RPMs, the 915 engine that I have doesn't put out a lot of amps. It says at idle, it puts out 5 amps, but I didn't see I'll have to go back and look for a grid that actually shows at 2000, at 2500 to see if it actually shows. But at 2500 RPMs, I was actually at negative amps. But then I had the lane lights came on, and when I got into the FADEC menu, it actually shows generator fail. So that's a big deal. Now, my engine is covered under one of the 3 recent service bulletins. So my service bulletin that affects me is the oil jets that spray oil on the generator for, I guess, cooling and lubrication. I'm not sure, probably both. And I have not been able to get anybody to help me do that test yet. I tried to hire a local shop to come to my hangar and do it, and they've just not been responsive. So another builder who lives not too far from me is going to come down here Wednesday He lives in North Carolina with me, and he's going to help me test the oil jet test, where you blow the air pressure in with a special tool and measure the output of the air. So he's going to help me with that Wednesday, so then I'll at least see if I failed that generator oil jet test. So that'll kind of dictate where I go next. So I don't know. We'll have to, I'll have to get somebody to read. I don't have the Bud software and dongle to download the ECUs. The only thing I can do is just look at what the FADEC information on the G3X says, which is just generator fail. So after Wednesday, that'll kind of help me figure out what possible issues I'm having, and then I can hire somebody to come up to my hangar and check it out. So that's major. I've got like several issues that I'm trying to chase down. And of course, until you start the engine, you really don't know these things. And I got pretty, I'm all the way done. I actually submitted all the paperwork to the FAA through the portal, and had reached out to my DAR and said I was ready. And I was just going to try to, condition the brakes, put an hour on the engine just doing taxi test, and of course then all these problems came down. So that's it's a little demotivational there. So I've got some challenges to run down. I'll get a few of them tackled in the next few days, and then we'll go from there. But I'll report back. But other than that, I've my avionics are updated. Everything works. I just the fuel pressure being high, and now a generator fail. And of course the service bulletin, they put it out because they had some generators were failing because they weren't having enough oil sprayed on them. So it's possible in the hour that my engine ran, sorry, a little sneeze break. So it's possible that in the hour, Rotax runs these engines for an hour prior to shipping them. So it's possible that a lot of damage was done in the hour that they ran it, and then my little 20 minutes just finished it off, or I could have a completely different problem that I'm going to run down. So I'm going to reach out to Lockwood Aviation and sort of chat about the service bulletin and what else they think could be going on with my engine, and see if they'll be able to throw some quick ideas at me. But anyway, it was really fun running my plane up and down the runway. Most of you know I live in a flying community, so I'm at my house. So I had all my neighbors coming out to watch, and unfortunately I don't have an action camera or anything, so I didn't film inside the camera. Inside the cockpit view with a camera. My wife did get some footage of me going up and down the runway, so that was kind of fun. However, in the end, I was a little disappointed with some of the issues I'm running into. But anyway, we're really close. I hope that I can attack these challenges quickly in the next couple of weeks, get the DAR in here, and then we'll be good to go, and I'll be flying hopefully by the first week in May. So it's been literally right now has been exactly 3 years since I received my kit via freight, and it's been some challenges. I'll do a video later after everything's done and kind of talk about the whole timeline and progression of my build. I've moved this project basically 3 times. I had parts issues and some other stuff that I'll talk about, and so it's been a bit of a challenge, but we're almost there. It's pretty much done. I just got to run down a few little issues, and I think we'll resolve those. I'm in line with Evoke Paint to do my paint job, and they're going to have a little bit of work because I'm a novice builder here, obviously, and but I missed their spring window for a summer appointment, so I'll be looking at their summer window for a late summer, fall appointment, I guess. But I'm hoping to fly myself to go to Oshkosh, maybe not fly into Oshkosh. What I think I might do is fly to Green Bay, Wisconsin, and then rent a car. Just with my timing, because I still work full time, I think that I can't get there early enough for me being a low hour novice pilot and I'll be solo to fly into Oshkosh on a Saturday. I just don't think that's safe for me. So what I'm going to do is fly to Green Bay, which I think will be much more tame, kind of bypass all the traffic accumulating going into Oshkosh. And I'm going to stay in a hotel and just rent a car. So there'll be videos about that coming out too as well, if that's what I do, but I'll keep talking about all that. So anyway, that's it for today. A few challenges. It's all part of aircraft building and maintenance. The service bulletins were a real downer, I know, for a lot of people. There were 3 major ones, and luckily I only was affected by 1, but it seems like there's a possibility that I was fully affected by that one. But time will tell. We'll run that to ground here in the next couple weeks. So anyway, to those of you building aircraft, good luck, happy building. And for everyone else, enjoy some of the video I'm going to insert here so you're not just staring at my plane. And hope all is well. Take care.